Let me ask you a direct question. Why do some women come back after they've already rejected you? On the surface, it seems completely illogical. One day she tells you she's not interested, maybe even treats you as if you're insignificant. Then, after a few weeks or even several months, she suddenly reappears. She sends a message, reacts to your posts, or starts acting friendly and interested again. For most men, this creates confusion. You begin asking yourself questions. Did she finally recognize my value? Did she have a change of heart? Or is there something else going on behind the scenes? The reality is more complicated than many people think. From a female perspective, rejecting a man is not always the same as feeling absolutely no attraction toward him. Sometimes circumstances are wrong. Sometimes emotions are involved. Other times it's connected to ego, validation, or a desire for control. And when a woman comes back later, her reasons may not be what you expect. This is where many men get caught in a frustrating cycle. They assume that a woman returning automatically means she now wants something serious. But rejection does not always represent a final ending. Women often process attraction differently. A woman can turn a man down and still think about him later. She can create distance while still wondering about him from time to time. In many situations, the moment a man stops chasing is the moment curiosity begins to grow. Questions start forming in her mind. She wonders what happened, whether he moved on, or if she judged him too quickly. Today we're going to explore this dynamic in depth. You'll learn why some women return after rejecting a man, what may be happening psychologically, and how you should handle the situation if it ever happens to you. The biggest mistake a man can make is assuming that her return automatically means she values him more than before. That's exactly where many people fall into a trap. Let's begin with the first reason: ego. Most men never realize that when a woman rejects them, she often pays attention to how they respond afterward. In some cases, the rejection itself becomes the beginning of a silent test rather than the end of the story. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Ego can play a much larger role than most men imagine. When a woman says no, she usually expects a reaction. She may expect disappointment, persistence, or even an attempt to win her over. Whether intentional or not, those reactions can validate her sense of influence. They confirm that her opinion carries weight and that her decision affected you emotionally. Now imagine several weeks passing. At some point, she may begin asking herself questions. Does he still think about me? Is he still interested? Has he completely moved on? Those thoughts are not always driven by attraction. Often, they're driven by curiosity mixed with ego. Many women dislike the idea of losing influence over someone who once gave them significant attention. That's why a woman may suddenly return after rejecting you. In many situations, she's not checking on you because she deeply misses you. She's checking to see whether she still has an effect on you. Picture this scenario. You meet a woman and the connection feels promising. The conversations are enjoyable and the chemistry seems positive. Eventually, you ask her out, but she turns you down. Maybe she says she's too busy. Maybe she claims she isn't ready for dating. Whatever the reason, the outcome is the same. Instead of chasing her, you accept the rejection and continue living your life. Then, unexpectedly, she interacts with one of your social media posts. Maybe she likes a picture. Maybe she leaves a comment. Maybe she sends a casual message saying, "Hey stranger." Most men immediately assume this means attraction has suddenly appeared. But that isn't always the case. Often, she noticed something important. You didn't keep pursuing her. You didn't beg for attention. You didn't make her the center of your world. Your lack of reaction created uncertainty, and that uncertainty challenged her ego. As a result, she reaches out to see whether she still has access to your attention. They interpret the contact as proof of romantic interest when it may simply be a test. She wants confirmation that she still occupies a place in your mind. For that reason, it's crucial not to confuse an ego-driven return with genuine attraction. If you immediately become overly excited and available, you may be showing her that she still has complete influence over you. But if you remain calm, confident, and measured, something interesting happens. She starts viewing you differently. She realizes that your attention isn't guaranteed and that you're not easily manipulated. Ironically, that confidence can sometimes make you more attractive than you were before. The lesson is simple. Women do not always come back because they miss you. Sometimes they return because their ego struggles with the idea of losing its influence over someone who once cared. The real question is whether you'll reinforce that dynamic or maintain enough self-respect to avoid falling into the same pattern again.